Run it back, nation. What is good? It is your boy DJ. Running back Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros. Algo gang, hit the like button on this video. That helps shoot me through the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. If you're not subscribed, that is fraudulent behavior. This is a no fraud zone. Turn your notifications on if they're not working. Turn them off. Turn them back on because YouTube notifications are weird. Watch Sixers Cavaliers with us tonight on Playback TV. Playback.tv/runitback Philly. Link is in the description. If you didn't join us yet, what are you doing with your life? The Sixers are one game behind the Boston Celtics for the second seed in the East. And the Boston Celtics play the Minnesota Timberwolves at 8 p.m. So a lot could change tonight. It's about to get real. All right? So join us. Link's in the description. Now let's get into this. The title of this video is The MVP Race is Between Giannis Antetokounmpo and Joel Embiid and not the other guy. And here's why. Let's jump right into it. Most valuable player to me is simple. Who is the most valuable player? Who does the most for a team offensively and defensively? You can have amazing offensive stats, but if you are hurting your team defensively, you are not the most valuable player. Not one time, definitely not 2 times in a row, and damn sure not 3 times. The Denver Nuggets just lost their 4th game in a row. Okay? Where's my window capture at, bro? Producer, get on it. Okay, last night the Raptors beat the Nuggets 125-110. My boy RB had a funny tweet. He said, too bad Jokic's Raptor couldn't beat the Raptors. Robust algorithm per something. I forget what it stands for. Shout out to Kopik. Nikola Jokic had another otherworldly historic performance if you love offensive efficiency. He was 28, 8, and 7 on 86.5 true shooting percentage. This is the problem I have with analytics. You can look at that stat line and you can say, oh my God, a 7-footer just finished a game with 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. He was 10 for 13 from the field for an 86.5 true shooting percentage. That's never been done before in the history of the game. He must be the greatest player to ever walk the earth. But when you really watch the game and you watch how it ended, the Toronto Raptors had 64 points in the paint and 25 fast break points. There is 2 sides to the game. Now, Jokic was 10 for 13. This is my problem with efficiency. This is all people talk about these days is efficiency. So if you take less difficult shots and only take the easy ones, you will have a higher efficiency rating. How in the effing world does that make you the most valuable player? If you are supposed to be an MVP and your team is going down to the wire and you're finishing a game with 13 field goal attempts, the same amount of field goal attempts as Aaron Gordon, you are hurting your team. This is my problem with advanced analytics. We have to get back to watching games. Now, here's a play that happened at the end of the game last night. Denver was down 116-102 with 5 minutes left. An MVP would put their team on his back right here and try to drag them back. That's what an MVP would do. He would put his team on his back right here and try to lead a scoring charge. Instead, he comes down the floor, passes it to the corner. He gets the ball back. Now, right here, he has a one-on-one against OG Anunoby. In the words of the great Swipe Cam, heading towards greatest offensive player of all time, has OG Anunoby one-on-one in the paint. What does he do? Nice little spin move. OG, not sure what he's doing defensively right there, but he gets past him. He has a shot, but instead of shooting the ball, instead of taking a mildly difficult shot. I mean, that shouldn't even be a difficult shot for a 7-footer. He tries to pass the ball to Aaron Gordon under the rim and turns it over. Nikola Jokic is a 7-foot point guard, very skilled, but he has a point guard's mentality. This is why he's finishing games with a true shooting percentage that's out of this world, because he does not take this shot. He passes the ball instead of taking difficult shots. It leads to a turnover. His team loses the game, but it leads to him ending the game with a 10 for 13 stat line, 86.5% true shooting percentage, 28, 9, and 7. Historic performance. This is why it is time to put the calculators down and get back to watching ball. Speaking of the great swipe of Cam, here's a funny tweet, because this is the new narrative on Nikola Jokic, okay? I don't know who Joel Moran is, but what the hell is this? Nikola Jokic is not trying to win MVP anymore, and I honestly respect it, because him winning his third straight would become a huge burden. The media has played a huge part in taking the joy out of the game. What? Yes, Joel Moran. Nikola Jokic is playing bad on purpose and losing to lesser teams on purpose because he doesn't want to win the MVP, because it would be a huge burden to have a back-to-back-to-back. What are we talking about here? And, of course, your boy Swipe Cam's in the replies, agrees with it. Definitely possible, given what he said about it months ago. And I said, even for Swipe Cam, this is impressive. Meaning this moving the goalposts and now changing the narrative when a player starts to get exposed defensively and exposed for being an efficiency merchant and not really a fourth quarter take the game over leading type of player. We now change the narrative to, oh, he's not trying to win MVP because he doesn't want his third in a row because it would be a burden. Give me a break. Here's a good comparison by my guy Jake Moreno. Sixers record right now, 45-22. The Nuggets record right now, 46-23. Embiid's last 4 games, 38.5 points per game, 3.8 assists per game, 2.8 blocks per game, 57% from the field. Nikola Jokic last 4 games, 29, 13, and 9 on 60% field goal, probably an otherworldly, out of this universe true shooting percentage. But here's the reality. The Sixers won 5 in a row. The Nuggets lost 4 in a row. That is why the MVP race is between Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo. It is just flat out not between Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic anymore. Efficiency merchant is getting exposed. Stop it, stop it, stop it. He's not winning his third MVP in a row. It's done. All of the damn nerds over at The Ringer and everywhere else who love calculating advanced analytic formulas instead of watching ball are getting exposed. Look, advanced analytics are like anything that gets popular for 2 or 3 years, but you really know that it's not as good as it looks. People just like it because it's new. I just thought of this right now. Last night I was trying to think of a good analogy. I just thought of this right now. Some of you old heads might not like this, but when I was in high school, a rap group came out with Paul Wall, Mike Jones, and Slim Thug. And it was this southern, slow down style of hip hop, and I hated it. And everybody jumped on it in my high school. They loved it because it was a new style they've never heard before. But I was listening to the lyrics and the rhythm and the creativity of the music, and I didn't think it was good. And about 3 years later, they all three disappeared forever. That's what I'm saying. People are blinded by shiny things, and they can't see inside to tell if it's actually valuable or not. Advanced analytics are that. Oh, look, this looks amazing. Nobody's ever done this before. You watch the fourth quarter of a close game and you realize none of that matters. Advanced analytics is relatively brand new. Raptor was invented by some writers of a political website in 2019. Robust algorithm, something about on-off box plus minus, shut up. These stats have been cool for a couple years now, but people are realizing that they are complete bullshit by watching ball. Truth always comes to light. The frauds will be here for a year or two. They will go away. Advanced analytics here for a year or two or 3 or 4. It's going away. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, the last point and the major point of this video, I didn't want to spend 10 minutes roasting Nikola Jokic, but it's just so enjoyable and so much fun lately, is that the MVP race is between Giannis Antetokounmpo and Joel Embiid. Both two-way players, both leading the charge for two of the best teams in the East. Giannis is averaging an efficient 31, 12, and 6. Embiid is averaging an efficient 33, 10, and 4. Both elite defenders and top 3 seeds. This not being an MVP convo is laughable, yeah. But it's the convo now. The mainstream media is finally catching up. Guys that don't really watch ball and just follow waves. Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, whoever else. Colin Cowherd admitted one time that he has guys sending him scores and stats. He doesn't watch ball. They're catching up. And this is the MVP race right now. The pros for Giannis Antetokounmpo is that the Milwaukee Bucks are number 1 in the East. The pros for Joel Embiid is that he's averaging 33.4 points per game, and that's never been done before since the merger. It's been done by Jordan, Kobe, and James Harden since the merger. I forgot to say that last time, and all the well-actuallys got in the chat. Well, actually, Wilt Chamberlain. I'm just going to put well, actually, Wilt Chamberlain on a t-shirt, because any stat you talk about in the history of anything, well, actually, Wilt Chamberlain, yeah, nobody, come on, bro. Anyway, those are the pros for Giannis. Those are the pros for Embiid. Here's why I have Embiid by a hair right now. Giannis Antetokounmpo plays with an all-star point guard, an all-star two-way point guard in Drew Holiday. And you can argue whether James Harden's better or worse than Drew Holiday, but Drew Holiday's an all-star this year. James Harden wasn't. Not my fault. Not my fault you writers voted him in and not Harden, so don't give me that one. Giannis is also playing with a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. And Brook Lopez is a massive, massive, massive help and is just killing it in certain situations, being a big-time backup stretch 5 or stretch 4 or whatever position he's really playing. So I think Joel Embiid is slightly outperforming Giannis, slightly because of slightly less talent on the roster, averaging more points per game, and both being elite defensively. That's why I give it to Embiid. I have no problem if people want to give it to Giannis. But ladies and gentlemen, the MVP race is between these two players, not the other guy. Sixers Cavs tonight, man. Playback TV. Join the wave. I'm out.